Hi, YouTube family. Welcome back to Recording Movies Recap. Today I will show you an action comedy film from 2020 titled Okay Madam. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. In 2009 in Mongolia, two agents from the North Korean Special Forces, Magnolia and Cheol-sung, are breaking into a hotel filled with enemy agents to steal some intel. While Cheol-sung covers her back, Magnolia searches the room, only to be interrupted by a call from her father telling her to get out of there because some men are after her and she can't trust anybody. But before he can say more, he's shot by an intruder. Cheol-sung finishes taking care of all the enemies and goes looking for his partner, but when Magnolia sees him, she remembers her father's words and shoots him before escaping through the window. Years pass and it's now 2020 in Seoul, South Korea. Mi-young wakes up early to open her Twisted Donut store and sells it all fairly quickly, allowing her to close the shop in good time to visit her husband Suk-won. He's a computer repairman working in his own shop while drinking tons of juice. He's bought a bunch of little bottles because there are special prizes on the caps. When Mi-young notices this, she scolds him for having wasted so much money, although she does like the sound of getting a new laundry machine. While Suk-won helps his latest client, Mi-young decides to have some juice as well and is shocked to find a surprise under the cap, the first prize, a trip to Hawaii. At first, the couple celebrates their luck, but their mood changes when they return home. Mi-young has decided they aren't going because they can't afford to spend money on a vacation and close their shops for a whole week. Instead, she'd rather sell the cap on the internet and use the money to buy a new laundry machine. The other person in a bad mood is their daughter Nari, who arrives at home as Mi-young receives a text with bad news. Nari has hurt a fellow student again. She gets yelled at and spanked for it, causing her to cry and confess she's tired of being made fun of for being the only kid in class that doesn't have a phone or goes on vacation. Hearing this makes Mi-young feel very bad. So after putting Nari to bed, she has a talk with Suk-won and accepts to go to Hawaii so their daughter can have something nice in her life. As Suk-won celebrates the decision, he accidentally kicks the old laundry machine and makes it work again. The next day, the three of them get their passports done. Meanwhile, a mysterious woman that also has a passport and a plane ticket ready receives a call that tells her it's time for her to get moving. In another part of the city, Cheol-sung also gets a call telling him Magnolia has resurfaced after 10 years and that she'll be going to Hawaii soon. His orders are to capture her alive. When the day of the trip finally comes, Mi-young still decides to work, that way she can take some extra money with her. They take the airport shuttle instead of a taxi, so they arrive late at the airport where other passengers for the same trip are gathering: Cheol-sung, the mysterious woman who is keeping her face hidden, and Special Agent Kim Harim and his gang, who are here to capture Magnolia too. Luckily for the family, they arrive right before the gate closes, so they are allowed to board. Not only that, but since there are two remaining business class seats, the clerk upgrades their tickets for free. Mi-young and Nari take the business class seats while Suk-won stays in economy. The plane is filled with interesting people like Steward Hyun-min, who thinks keeping an eye out for suspicious behavior and keeping an eye on everyone's safety is part of the steward mission, Congressman Jang Pil-jun, and a nervous man that is flying because his bosses sent him, so he takes a bunch of pills to keep his fear under control. Once the plane takes off, the enemy agents begin walking around the plane to see if they can find Magnolia. The mysterious woman notices this and goes to hide in the bathroom while Hyun-min brings some snacks for Mi-young. He accidentally drops the nuts when he's about to serve them, but Mi-young catches them all by using outstanding reflexes. This makes Hyun-min think she may be a spy or a national security agent. Meanwhile, Suk-won befriends fellow passenger Book Kuk-sung, who is traveling alone to visit his daughter and granddaughter, even carrying a teddy bear with him to gift them later. Back in business, Mi-young is having stomach cramps, so she goes looking for a bathroom after finding her husband and telling him to keep an eye on their daughter. The first restroom is taken by the mysterious woman, so Mi-young goes farther into the plane to look for another stall and comes across the special agents, who haven't been able to find Magnolia and pretend they're waiting in line when they see Mi-young coming. While she finally finds an empty stall, Harim goes to talk to Cheol-sung, telling him they can't find Magnolia, but they haven't checked the business class yet because they don't have access to it. Cheol-sung thinks they can't wait anymore, so he gives orders to start the operation. Hyunmin overhears one of the men receiving such orders. Now the whole family can reunite, but the trouble is far from over. Pretending to comfort her, Kook-sung gives Nari the teddy bear and grabs her as hostage. Then he shoots Cheol-sung before confessing he was the man that killed Mi-young's father, and he will kill her daughter as well if she doesn't come with him. Seok-hwan tries to hurt him with one of the tasers from the plane, but it doesn't work, so Kook-sung shoots him as well. Mi-young admits she has no other choice than to accept his terms, so she hugs Nari goodbye before putting on the parachute. Kook-sung forces the plane door open and Mi-young gives Nari a signal to throw out her teddy bear. She had whispered these instructions to her when she hugged her, and now she pushes Kook-sung out too as the teddy bear explodes at a good distance away from the plane, so the family reunites once again for good this time. Speaking of Cheol-sung, he grabs the parachute and, after wishing the family to be happy and have a good life, jumps off the plane to return so the authorities can't get him when they land. All the enemy agents are tied to their seats, and the National Security Service is contacted to inform them they're okay now. The pilot receives orders to return to South Korea to process what happened, but Seok-hwan can't accept this. He wants to go to Hawaii. Pil-joon doesn't approve of this idea and tries to pull rank, but at that moment, Hyunmin finds the taser on the floor and while checking it out, he presses the button and accidentally knocks Pil-joon out. Sarah reminds everyone that if it wasn't for Mi-young, they'd be all dead, so the captain changes his mind to grant her wish and changes the course to Hawaii, telling the government they're low on fuel as an excuse. As soon as they arrive in Hawaii, the family goes to have fun on the beach, and Seok-hwan gifts Mi-young a ring so they can renew their vows. He also admits he's been saving money for 10 years for this trip and the winning cap had been faked by him. Furious, Mi-young chases him around the beach for having spent so much money, while Nari relaxes under the sun. Meanwhile, the plane has been emptied except for one person, the nervous man, who is finally waking up and finding hundreds of missed calls and messages asking him to take care of the hijacking situation. A couple of weeks later, TV cameras show up at Mi-young's shop. To thank her for saving the plane, she's being gifted a free trip to Disneyland. This excites Nari, but her parents freak out because they don't want to get on a plane anytime soon. Kindly subscribe the channel for movies. Thanks for watching.